my channel. My name is Thuyl. If you're new here, welcome. Today I filmed this really chatty makeup video tutorial. Get rid of me. I answered a few of your guys' questions on Instagram. So if you guys want to see how to create this look and get to know a bit more about me, please keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. I did already put some primer on. I used the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea primer. This is the Quench one, but it's really nice and hydrating, and my skin's been feeling rather dry recently. So for foundation today, we're going to go over the NARS Stromboli All Day Radiant Long Wear Foundation. Just using my damp beauty blender. I'm just going to pat this all over my skin. So it's going to be quite a chatty video. I've got so much to catch you guys up on. I've got a new lens on my camera. I'm using the Canon 24 to 70mm. Before I was just using the kit lens. And I don't know, when it's focusing, I can hear it like, it makes like a noise. I can zoom right on in with this camera, which is really cool. Alright, foundation is on and super flawless. I love this foundation. Every time I wear it, I'm like, it's just a perfect finish. So I'm going to go in with the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Vanilla. So the shade's actually quite a lot lighter. You guys know I normally never go that light underneath my eyes, but I used it the other day and I actually really like the finish of it. So I'm just blending this underneath my eyes, give it a real nice brightening finish. For powder today, we're going to use the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Easy Bake Powder. I'm just going to use the back of the beauty blender and then just tap this on underneath my eyes. I am craving bubble tea, and I've sent Grwm out on a little errand to go and get my bubble tea for me. Trying to get out more powder out of this tub is so annoying. Okay, so for bronzer, we're going to go in with this new product that I got from Charlotte Tilbury. It's their Film Star Bronze and Blush Glow. Normally it comes with a highlighter, but now they brought out one with blusher. The blush is very pink, isn't it? So for highlighter today, I'm actually going to go in with a brand new highlighter that I just received. And this is from Glam Glow. Since when did Glam Glow start making makeup products? Who knows? But it actually looks very cool. I've seen people swatch this on Snapchat. It looks awesome. These are the swatches of the Glam Glow highlighters. So the palette is a rubber silicone casing, which is actually really cool. It is quite chunky. That's the only thing I would have to say. So we're going to go in with this middle shade here. That's the more goldeny shade that's calling my name. Oh my god, so even the highlighters, it smells like their Water Burst Moisturiser. Oh, it's quite blinding. I'm using my Sigma F35 tapered highlighter brush. And then just putting this a bit on my forehead. Tip of my nose. I haven't even contoured my nose yet. Who am I? My nose has not arrived yet. This highlight is actually very blinding. I didn't think that it would impress me that much. Like, the swatches do look nice, but it doesn't look really bright. But on the cheek, it looks lovely. This is the dance that I do when I put on my highlighter. Yeah, the finger snap, yeah. Okay, so on my eyes today, we're going to go in with the brand new Norvina eyeshadow palette. This has been on my radar for a few weeks now, but because I was doing my beauty room and everything, I haven't got a chance to try it yet. I haven't even done an Instagram video on it. I've just barely swatched it, so we're going to give it a good old whirl today. So I do have to say right off the bat that this eyeshadow palette is actually really pretty. It has all the shimmers on top and all of the mattes at the bottom. I do have to say, when I swatched some of the shimmers, I was like, god damn, these are some new formulas that she just come up with, because they're so creamy. It is like you barely touch it and there's so much payoff. Those are the 4 shades that I swatched. Oh, it's like butter. This is just a very, very light swatch that I did, and it is honestly so beautiful. Let's just go with the flow and see what we're feeling. So I'm going to go in with the shade called Eccentric first. And then I'm going to blend a bit of Passion in to make it a bit deeper in the crease. So I'm going in with my 221 from MAC. I don't know if they still do this brush, because I think they changed all their brushing to synthetic brushes now. But we are going to just go with the flow. I think Morphe has a brush that's similar like this. And I'm going to use this to go inside the crease. So I'm just kind of like relaxing my eyes. How fitting is it that I have a Anastasia Beverly Hills mirror on it with a crusty old lash? This is the Amrezy mirror, and it's actually so nice and lightweight as well. So I'm just blending this right into the crease. So what else do I have to update you guys on? I feel like when I'm away, I have so much to tell you guys about, and then when I actually go on camera, my mind goes blank and I can't remember anything. I'm like, my life is so boring. So I just asked some questions on Instagram, so I hope they'll be flooding in a bit, so we'll check that out. So while we're waiting, I'm going to go in with the shade called Incense, and it's like a really nice light brown for my transition shade. It is quite powdery though. It's just really hard to get mattes to be creamy, pigmented and blended without putting too much much pigment where it's just so dusty, you know. I have been watching quite a lot of shows on YouTube, so maybe I thought I'll tell you guys about them. So I was watching Huda Beauty's TV show. It's not a TV show, it's like a show that she has on Facebook, but it's so interesting. They're only about 20 minutes long, so they're very, very quick, but it's a really cool insight into seeing like business boss bitches, you know, because there's so much we don't see behind the scenes, and I can only imagine how stressful it would be. And I think maybe because I'm an influencer myself, I can relate to it in many ways, even though of course I'm nowhere near Huda Beauty's level. But even just watching her struggle and her trying to balance her love life, her family life, as well as obviously run a career, and everything's on you, you know, your face is your brand. If anything goes wrong, you can't blame everyone else because everyone will be blaming you. Just have to say, when I'm blending out this eyeshadow, it looks quite muddy. On here, I feel like the passion colour is quite like a deep warm brown, but on my eyes it looks very cool. I don't know if I like it very much. I'm just gonna keep going with it and see how I feel, but it looks very grey, which is not what I'm after really at all. I do not do greys. I can barely do silvers, so greys I'm just like I remember when I used to work at Matt, I used to get appointments, which is when people come in to get their makeup done for an hour, and you know, you'd always kind of talk to them and see what they're wearing and what kind of makeup look they would want. And then when people tell me they want like a grey smoky eye, I'm just like, I couldn't think of anything worse. Grey eyeshadow for me is a no-no. Also, I have absolutely been loving Shane Dawson's collaboration with Jeffree Star about his life and following him around. It was like a 5-part series that he was doing, and the views on it was freaking insane. And just watching that video, it was just so crazy. Like the life that Jeffree Star leads is just insane. But it's quite sad at the same time, because I feel like even though he has all this money, it just really goes to show that that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be happy. Like when I was watching it, it actually made me feel quite sad for him, because it seems like he doesn't trust nobody. He was saying he hardly has any friends. It actually seems that he buys a lot of stuff to compensate for not having friends, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm sure all of that clothing and all of those expensive things bring him some sort of joy, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, he seems quite humble, I think, and he actually doesn't need all of that stuff. But isn't it so crazy how like people find joys in different things? Like for me, having all those expensive bags and stuff like that, it actually doesn't mean anything to me. Like when he was saying that one of those bags cost like 100 grand, I was just like, I couldn't think of anything worse than owning something like that. Like for me, I'll just feel so much guilt having all those expensive bags just sitting there. And I know he was saying it's a collector's item and stuff, but for me personally, I've never seen designer bags as that it will make me happy or bring me joy. Honestly, I don't know. I don't see happiness in that light. You know what they're saying? More money, more problems, and that's so true. I remember watching a Kim Kardashian interview, and she said like her birthday wish would be like just to go into Rouse and just do food shopping. And I'm just like, so crazy that all these little things we just take for granted. I went to Manchester and I was hanging around with another blogger, and her brother is in One Direction, and she was just telling me like how her brother was saying like, I was really sad because he really wants to go to a water park, but he knows he won't be able to go to a water park unless he like shuts down the water park, because he'll just get mobbed with people taking photos and stuff. Don't you guys think that's just a crazy life to live, that you just want to do the most mundane things but you can't because people will just go crazy? I'm not saying that my life is anything like that, but I'm just saying like when I was watching Jeffree Star and stuff, it was just so crazy to see him just go around the shops and Sephora, and people just like stop and like take photos of him in every angle, every corner, and very crazy. You guys haven't watched the series, you guys have to go watch it. It's so good. Okay, so we're kind of done with blending. I feel like I like this eye better than this eye. This eye, I felt like I kept eccentric and passion separately. I didn't mix it on my brush as much, so I would recommend that. Don't mix them together because you end up getting it really muddy, which doesn't look cute at all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a flat concealer brush. This is actually from Kiko, the #1 brush, and I love this for carving out my eyebrows. It's really good because it's super flat. And I'm just going to use my Born This Way concealer, put some on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to carve out my crease just a little bit, just to give it a nice sharp shape. So you just put a little bit on the lid and then look up, just to see where your crease will naturally hit. That's how you know how high you can go up. So I'm literally just carving out this crease, making it super sharp, and then I'm just blending that concealer and patting it out just so it's not a harsh line. Okay, so I'm just getting some questions come in. There were so many. Oh my god, it's so crazy. So the first question I'll answer is, how does your boyfriend deal with your stressful schedule? That's actually so crazy that you guys think my schedule's very stressful as well, because it fucking is, bitch. Honestly, it is very hard on our relationship. I feel like both of us, we don't really know what we're doing, and we're just kind of like relying on each other to kind of like both guide ourselves through. And it's kind of like the blind leading the blind sometimes, honestly. We are very newbies at it. A lot of my other friends, their partner doesn't work with them, so we're the only couple at the moment out of my friendship group that has a boyfriend and girlfriend that does the same job dynamics. The only thing I just say is it's very easy to blend Grant into my friendship group, which a lot of times we go out to like meetings and we'll go out to do stuff together, and Grant's really good because he gets along with anyone. Like, he's just so easygoing, and you know, sometimes when you meet up with your boyfriend and meet up with your friends, it's always like sometimes a bit awkward and stuff, but Grant's actually really good. Like, he can just be by himself. I can leave him with my friends and it never feels awkward. All my friends actually really get along with Grant. That definitely helps, because sometimes like I want to go out but I don't want to leave Grant by himself, so I always feel like I can take him along and it won't be awkward. If anything, it'll be easier because he can be there to be like my other hand and legs, you know. Another question is, do I live with my mum and my dad? I've been getting a lot of questions actually about my dad and why I don't talk about him and stuff like that. Maybe I could do a whole video on it, but my dad basically passed away. He died of liver cancer. I think it's liver cancer or lung cancer, I don't even remember. It was a very long time ago. I think I was about 13 and I'm 26 now. But I wasn't even very close to my dad at all, even though we lived at home together and stuff. But he didn't treat my mum very well. And I remember like whenever he went downstairs, I would run upstairs. Whenever he went upstairs, he would run downstairs. That's like the only thing I remember. It's so weird because I actually have a lot of my childhood that I don't remember, and I went to a psychic and she was telling me all the stuff about my dad, and I was just like, I'm not here to talk about the dead. I want to know about my future. Like, I never think about him or anything, but maybe I'm just suppressing it all inside. If you are a therapist or psychiatrist or something, that there's some hidden meaning in there, I don't know, but we've never been close. I know I was the only one out of my family that wasn't there at his funeral because he actually passed away in Vietnam. So I can maybe talk a bit more about it, but I don't want it to be like a depressing video. Basically, when he got diagnosed with cancer, my family in Vietnam was saying that there's a doctor out there that can cure him. A lot of Vietnamese people, they are very superstitious, so they flew out to Vietnam to go see a doctor. He went straight there and then they injected something into his belly, and his belly got so bloated. I don't know what the hell they injected to his belly, but yeah, he passed away the next day. So everyone had to fly out to Vietnam, obviously to go to his funeral, but my passport at the time was expiring, so I couldn't go out there. So yeah, that is the story of what happened. And in Vietnam as well, it's so weird because when someone passes away, you actually have to be at their bedside table for like 3 days straight, and then people will just come and pay their respects and stuff, so they're just like a dead person laying there and everyone's crying around it. Yeah, all the stories that I heard about it, it's very wild. I'm just grabbing a brush with that passion shade, I'm just blending it in. But yeah, that is the story about my dad. I know a lot of people ask me about him, but we was never close really at all. I actually feel happier for my mum without my dad. I know it sounds really bad, but a lot of Vietnamese parents or traditional parents, they will never really get a divorce. They'll just stick together even though they're really unhappy. And I actually feel like my mum, even though she's alone or she's single or whatever, I actually feel like she's so much happier without him. Is it bad of me to say? Don't know, don't hate me guys, it's just the way I feel. So I'm just gonna grab this Wild Child shade right here. It's this light pink, just with a flat shaded brush. This brush is from BH Cosmetics, it's number 7. I'm gonna pat this on. So another question was, how many siblings do I have? I have 3 siblings, so I'm the middle child. So I have an older brother who's the eldest, who has a daughter. So I have a niece and nephew. And then I actually have a little niece on the way. So my sister-in-law is pregnant at the moment. It's actually very weird, even though I have 2 nieces and nephews, but at the time when they were young, we wasn't very close at all. That was actually when I was hiding Grang. If you guys haven't seen my story time about how I met my boyfriend boyfriend and stuff like that, you guys need to watch it because I explain how I hid my boyfriend for like 5 years, and I used to be not very close with my family at all because of it and stuff. That was during the time where my niece and nephew was growing up and we wasn't close really at all. It's very weird because I wasn't really in their childhood when there was like a baby, so it's gonna be so interesting now to see a new baby in our family. My brother is also in the process of opening up his own nail shop, so that's a very cool adventure for him. Very happy for them. And then I also have an older sister, Hong, which you guys are probably following on social media. If you're not, make sure you follow her because everyone says we're very similar. And then it's me, and then I also have a younger sister as well who currently does nails. So the pink looks quite nice on. It doesn't stick to my eyes the way I want it to, so I'm just rubbing it in with my finger. And I'm blending out that passion shade, so it's really smoky in here. Okay, so underneath my eyes, I'm going to go in with this shade called Celestial. It's like a purpley shade. It's actually a really pretty purple shade. So I'll answer a few more questions while I'm getting ready. Let me know if you guys like these kind of like chatty Q&As and stuff, or do you prefer just to do the makeup tutorial and then the Q&A separately, because I can do that as well, and that's an extra video for me. Let me know. Another question that I got was, would I ever visit Morocco? I've actually visited Morocco twice now. I went to Agadir before with my family and we got really bad food poisoning. They served me like raw chicken and we were so ill like the next couple of days. I remember we went to a really horrible hotel. You know when you go online and you look at the photos, it looks so good, and when you actually go to the actual hotel, you're like, what the frick? Like, there's some olden days hotel, like everything was all run down. It was not cute. So we ended up checking into like a really nice hotel after. And then I went to Morocco with YSL and I really loved it. So yeah, I've been there twice already. Another question was, you are a vegetarian? Oh my god, I couldn't think of anything worse than being like a vegan or vegetarian. Because if you are vegan or vegetarian, like, props to you, save the animals, yes. But for me, I actually hate vegetables. There's a lot of things that I don't like eating. I'm a very picky eater. The thought of being a vegetarian or vegan, like, literally, I couldn't think of anything worse. I remember there was a time where there was loads of brands that were kind of like jumping on the vegan hype. I know that sounds really weird, but like, you know when brands like try to make vegan like a trend and stuff, which is very weird. Every brand was doing their events in like vegan restaurants and stuff, and I just like, no, I would not go to that because I just would not be able to eat. It's already so hard because I only eat chicken, so like not eating like a lot of stuff. Like, I don't eat dairy, I don't eat cheese. I like all the bad stuff, all like the fried chicken and all that stuff. I just honestly would not know what I would eat if I was a vegan. So many people tell me that they love being a vegan and there's so many vegan dishes out there, but whenever I see it, I'm just like, it's just like so tomatoey, filled with like avocados, which I hate avocados and I hate tomatoes. So it just sounds like I just couldn't eat anything. I'll just be like a little stick because I'd just be starving all the time. Okay, so I'm going to do some eyeliner next. So I feel like I want to add a little bit of glitter to this. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Grind Heavy Metal Glitter. And this is just like a light pink glitter and it's like a really fine nib. And I'm just going to go right in the crease here and create that kind of like Instagram line, you know, when people do that kind of like floating eyeliner in here. So on my eyes, I'm going to do a nice black liquid liner. I'm going to go in with my NYX Matte Liner. I haven't used this for a while and I used it the other day and I was like, why did I stop using you? Because you are so good. So I'm just going to do my wing and then I'm just going to fade it in. That was some serious wing, girl. Oh my god, that went out a bit further than I expected. And I'm just fading it in and then just blend that into my lash line. I'm actually going to make this more of a smoky liner. I've been loving smoky eyeliners recently. I just feel it looks so much more like sultry, you know. So that is my liner. And then I'm going to go on top with that passion shade. I've been using this shade so much. And then I'm just going to pat this on top just to make it more of a smoky liner, you know. So on my eyes, I'm going to need to put on some lashes. I just put a little bit of mascara. So this is the Tatty lashes that I'm going to go for today in the shade TL10. Is that ThuyLe 10? I don't know. I guess that's Tatty lashes 10. Not ThuyLe 10. So these are really nice because they're quite long and wispy on the outer corners. And then I'm going to quickly pop them on and I'll be back to finish off this makeup look. Okay, so I've got my lashes on. They're really nice and fluffy. I need to try more from Tatty Lashes. So, lips are next. And I was thinking, should I go for a nude lip? But I always go for a nude lip. So, I'm going to go for a dark lip. So, I can take some cool Instagram photos. This is the new Huda Beauty Demi Matte in the shade Ball. So, I'm not going to line my lips. I'm going to go straight in with this product. Oh, it's a dark one, guys. I haven't done a dark lip for so long. And the other lip. I am loving these formulas of these Demi Mattes. It's so pretty. Okay guys, so that's it for this makeup look. I hope you guys liked how this Instagram kind of inspired makeup look turned out with the Norvina palette. Overall, it's a really nice palette. The only thing is I will say that it's very dusty and it does fall out quite a lot. I did have quite a lot of fallout underneath my eyes. I had to like sweep away as time went on. But it's a really nice palette. I love the way how the shimmers are on one side, the mattes are on one side. If you don't really have these kind of shades, I definitely think it's worth investing in. If you love shimmers, they have some bomb shades in here. If you guys liked how this look turned out, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't followed me on all my other social media platforms yet, it's just xThuyLe on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys! Enjoy the bloopers. Fucking remote! Come on! My memory card just died. That was just so annoying. I wish you can buy a memory card that just has unlimited storage. Is there such thing? I hear Grwm outside. Come. Oh my god, you drank all yours already?
Yeah, mate. I'm thirsty.
So I actually have gone off boba a little bit. I think since I have my braces, it always gets stuck in there and it's really hard for me to chew. So I love jellies. I love this little jelly. I get 2 rounds of jellies, a large passion fruit with ice.
Give me a phone and block this bitch.
I posted a photo of me and Grwm, and this stupid bitch that's just like wants to put in her 2 cents. And like everyone's like attacking her, it's just getting a bit crazy. I told you to not reply. Because they'll never stop, they'll just keep going and going and going. I remember when I first started to do blogging, and whenever I got a hate comment, I used to like write back and like tell them about themselves. And like even go on their page and like, oh, it was so bad, I was such a freaking crazy bitch. But now it's just so much better just to block and delete.
Anyone that liked the comment get blocked too.
And then this is why I get so many people asking, why did you block me? I didn't even say anything bad. It's because you like something. You know, all the time, I always block people and then I'll get them messaging my sister, they message Grwm, like, why did Thuyl block me, blah, blah. And do you know what? I won't even be able to remember the reason why, because I block so many people. Even if you like a horrible comment because you ain't got the balls to say it yourself, or even if you try to say something slyly, you try to backhand and compliment, it's like block, 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 and block. Let me guys know. Oh my god, look at all these white hairs, guys. I'm getting old. Oh my god, my back. I don't know why I have this bulge here. Like, what the hell is this? It's like a neck on top of a neck.